Things got heated once again on The View as Alyssa Farah Griffin and Whoopi Goldberg found themselves on opposite sides of a fiery debate, and this time, it was over former President Donald Trump's proposal to offer a $5,000 bonus to new mothers in hopes of boosting birth rates. In the U.S., Goldberg opened the show by making it clear just how insulted she felt by the idea. She argued that a one-time payment of $5,000 shows a complete lack of understanding of what it actually costs to raise a child in today's America. They don't know how women's bodies work, and they don't know what it costs to raise a child or just have a child, Whoopi said, with visible frustration. Her main point was that a token check doesn't come close to addressing the real, long-term expenses of parenthood, and she didn't hold back in calling out what she saw as the plan's fundamental flaws. Alyssa Farah Griffin, however, wasn't ready to throw the idea out the window so quickly. She surprised many by saying she actually supports the policy, pointing out that while $5,000 might not cover everything, it could make a real difference for out-of-pocket hospital costs, which often leave new parents drowning in debt. Griffin even expanded the conversation, suggesting that the benefit should also extend to gay couples and adoptive parents, making it a more inclusive proposal. She challenged the notion that it's better to reject the idea entirely just because it isn't a complete solution, asking the panel, "Isn't something better than nothing?" But Goldberg quickly snapped back, "No, not in this case," drawing a clear line in the sand. The tension escalated when Griffin accused her fellow co-hosts of showing political bias. She boldly stated that if President Biden had proposed the exact same $5,000 baby bonus, everyone on the panel would be praising it as a groundbreaking move. It was a moment that caught viewers' attention, as Griffin held her ground and refused to back down from calling out what she saw as a double standard. Goldberg, however, wasn't budging. She argued that the real issue wasn't just about the bonus itself, but the broader implications, that paying people to have more children feels uncomfortably close to historical practices that marginalized vulnerable communities. "I don't like the idea that somebody is saying, 'I'm going to pay you to have more kids,'" Goldberg said, warning that this kind of policy has dangerous echoes from the country's past. Sunny Hostin then jumped into the fray, adding that the entire proposal felt eerily similar to The Handmaid's Tale, painting a dystopian image of government incentives tied to reproduction. Meanwhile, Goldberg kept hammering her point that this move doesn't exist in a vacuum. It comes after the Trump administration has already made major cuts to programs that genuinely helped struggling families. She cited real examples, noting how the administration slashed $1 billion in funding for schools and food banks and laid off workers who managed programs that helped low-income families afford heating and cooling. For Goldberg, offering a one-time payment while gutting essential services wasn't just insulting, it was a slap in the face. By the end of the segment, it was clear that the disagreement wasn't just about a $5,000 check. It was about two very different visions for how the government should support families and address economic hardship. One side saw it as a small but meaningful step forward. The other saw it as an empty gesture masking a deeper neglect. Either way, The View once again lived up to its reputation, sparking a raw, passionate debate that left the audience with plenty to think about.